All right, everyone, we're going to go ahead and get started, and hopefully some people will be trickling in. But I'm going to go ahead and say welcome and thank you so very much for tuning in to today's webinar. We're just so grateful that you took some time out of your busy schedules to learn a little bit more about what UpContent has been working on these last couple of months. You in particular have been just so supportive, and we really could not have done it without you. So thank you so much for being our friend and our partner along this journey. If you're catching the replay, hello, so glad you could tune in. I'm gonna just go ahead and launch in. Just a little bit of background information on me. My name is Marissa Burdett. I am the UpContent Growth Manager here at Community ELF, and I'm just so grateful to be here. I actually joined the company in September of this year, so I have been fortunate to kind of catch the tail end of all of this sprint that we've been kind of working on and seeing it all come together, and I get to be the person to kind of share it with all of you, so I'm very excited about that and just happy to be here. Just a little bit of housekeeping items before we launch into today's webinar. If you have any trouble at all hearing me, or if there's any video problems, definitely go ahead and use that Q&A feature there. It's on the bottom right-hand side of your screen. You can chat in there and let us know that you can't hear something or something's going up. And also, you can go ahead and tweet at us or direct message us on Twitter at GetUpContent. And also that Q&A feature is there so that you can go ahead and ask questions. So if you have any questions about what I'm demonstrating tonight, go ahead and use that Q&A feature. I'll either address them while you've asked them, or there's going to be some designated Q&A time at the end. So I want to talk briefly before we launch into everything, kind of a little bit of background about UpContent, where we came from, why it was created, and so on. The idea for UpContent actually emerged out of a need that our company was facing. Community ELF is a content marketing managed services company. So we do work with a lot of clients, and our account managers curate a lot of their social media feeds. And we found that there was this need to find better quality content without spending a ton of time doing it. So when we realized that kind of like our current method for curation, which was typically doing a Google search and scrolling through page after page and then bookmarking the links that seemed cool and then scheduling it, all of that seemed to take a lot of time. So what we did is we formed a development team. And that development team worked really hard to create an algorithm that would allow us to find the right quality content that's very relevant to your topic, instead of just what's viral or trending. So we wanted to find the right stuff. So we actually started off as a Hootsuite integration in March of 2015, and we're really happy about that relationship that we have with Hootsuite. But what we realized is our users started asking for our own standalone application for those of them who maybe didn't want to use Hootsuite. So we actually released a standalone application in June of 2015. So you can access that at my.upcontent.com. So we're really excited about that as well. And even though we've released a few things here and there, we did update some of our billing information, and we've updated our marketing site. You might have noticed back in the fall, in October, November, we really did a big facelift on our marketing site, which we really love, including the font and colors and just the style of it. We really love that. But besides that, this is kind of like our first big feature release that we've been working really hard on for the last couple of months. So we're really excited to be able to present that to you guys. Wanted to tell you a little bit about kind of what we stand for here at UpContent and kind of what our goal is. So here at UpContent, we really believe that content is currency. And so by exchanging this content, it really establishes you as an industry expert. And also allows you to kind of enter into those really important conversations, and that you can feel equipped with the best, most influential content to share with your network. And UpContent makes this possible because what we're doing here is we're cutting out all of the noise from Google searches, from scrolling endlessly, and we're taking away that big time commitment, and instead we're delivering the right content from the right sources. So we're really pleased with the product that we're offering, and we're excited to share some of these new updates with you. So today, just to let you know kind of what our agenda is, for some of you, UpContent is a tool that you use on a daily basis, and we thank you so much for that. We really appreciate our daily users. And for others, this might be your first introduction of UpContent, so I'm really happy to be the person to introduce you to it. So what I'm going to do today is do a brief tour of the product. I'm going to introduce you to some of the new features that we're releasing, as well as quickly review some of the features that we all know and love already. And just to let you guys know, this is a pre-release kind of view of the product, so I appreciate your understanding if things aren't exactly perfect, but we all know that you guys are kind of like our VIP people. We've appreciated your support so much up to this point, so we're so excited to share this. So I'm going to go ahead and pop right into the product and tell you a little bit about some of our new features. And again, if you're having trouble at all hearing me or seeing the content, just let me know in that Q&A section. So the first big thing that we have rolled out is our user profiles section. So, you know, I've mentioned how content is currency, and we really think that it allows you to build strong communities with one another. So one of our goals was to give our users the opportunity to foster and build upon those relationships inside our product. So the first step we kind of identified in opening up our tool for more collaboration is by creating user profiles. And it also allows us to do one of our new features, which I'll tell you about shortly. So even though our onboarding process is just as quick and simple as it always has been, users now have the ability to complete a profile. So if you look here, this is under the settings page, which I'll show you where that is located when we get back to the main view. But you can see everything is just how as it normally was here with user information, account info, and topic info. But now you have the ability to go ahead and edit that user information to include a lot more information. So you can go ahead and create a username, add your location, your company, your industry, and your website, as well as add a Gravatar image. So when you click this change image link, it's actually going to direct you right to Gravatar and allow you to use the same or a different image that you use on plenty of other applications that use Gravatar. What's great about having a user profile is that you'll now have the ability to share topics, which I'm very excited to talk about in just a moment. We're really hoping, though, with these user profiles that it will be very critical in the future for providing organizational support, group billing, and access control as well. So you'll be seeing a lot more options for groups, companies, organizations within UpContent, so they can all manage it from the same place. So user profiles is very exciting. I'm going to go back to settings and then go back to our main page here. Okay, so what I want to do, and you kind of see the sneak peek of this design change, but I'm going to first go over how to create a topic. As you guys already know, tools are only as effective as a user's knowledge of them. And so we really want to make sure that our users are fully aware of how to create a topic. And I want to show you today so that you can see how some of these new features kind of affect or influence kind of the topic that you are created. So to create a new topic, you'll see it on the bottom left-hand side of your screen. And you'll have the option to add a search phrase. And you can actually add up to 10 additional search queries. So you really have the option to make your topic as narrow or as broad as you'd like. There's a few things that you want to consider, though, when you're creating a topic. If you treat, you know, these search queries the same as you would with a Google search, you're probably going to get the same results, those broad results that you have to scroll through. So what we really encourage our users to do is to be as specific as possible on each line. Each query should be as specific as possible, because actually these lines operate separately from one another. So this adding more lines broadens the topic, but you want to be as specific as possible in each line. So there are a few things that you might want to consider before you create a topic. Ask yourself, what do I want to know about specifically? What don't I want to include in my results? Are there specific people or places that I want to know more about? And kind of what buzzwords can be used to describe this topic? If you're not sure if you're going to remember these tips, there's a great blog post that we wrote called How to Create an Effective UpContent Topic, which you can find in our blog area. And I actually go ahead and ask those questions here. as well as give some tips, which would be about being specific in your each query. And we actually also employ Boolean operators. You may have heard that term before, but it's the simple phrasing of it is just that it's those ands, ors, nots, quotation marks, and parentheses that you might use in a search. So if you're like me and you forget from library class back in middle school, we got you covered here. It's listed here for you. But these Boolean operators really do help in making your topic more specific. So let's say I want to create a topic on Pittsburgh sports. You'll notice here that I'm going to be using quotation marks here, because if I use no quotation marks, it might search for things like Pittsburgh and sports and not necessarily Pittsburgh sports on its own. So if you want to make sure it's searching in that exact order, you would want to use quotation marks. But let's say I'm kind of over football at this time, which I am. I'm very apathetic about football. So let's say I don't really want to have results about Pittsburgh Steelers. So I'm going to use the word not. I know this is blasphemy for me to say that, but let's say I just want to learn about all the other sports right now. So I'm going to go ahead and say not Pittsburgh Steelers. So you can see how I'm using that Boolean operator there. And I want to broaden my search here to be more specific. So I'm going to go ahead and search for the Pittsburgh Pirates, whom I love, and also the Pittsburgh Penguins. So just gives you kind of an overview of how to create a topic and how you might want to use some of these Boolean operators or the quotation marks, or be very specific in each line. And then you would simply hit the next button and give it a name. I'm going to give it Pittsburgh Sports and hit save. Okay, so just one thing to notice is like when you're first initially creating a topic, it may take a little bit of time for it to gather those suggestions. So I just wanted to show you that. So let's pop in. I just want to show you some other things that we've updated here. You may have noticed, if you're a current user, that a lot of the design has changed and it has improved for the better. We are so happy with it. Kyle Grady, our lead product designer, has been amazing at updating the design. As you can see here, we used to have a horizontal layout for each of the cards, and the share buttons would be all on the right. We had a different font that was a little bit harder to read. It was Josephine Sands, I believe. And basically, we've really done an overhaul here. So we've made these beautiful vertical card layouts. We've updated the navigation here, so it's a little bit easier to toggle between all of the sorting options. And you'll notice there's some different options here too that we'll talk about in a bit. I did want to point out, and if you are a subscriber to our blog, this is no news to you, but if you're not, this is news to you. Previously, under this type section here at the top, we used to give you the option to look at news articles, blog posts, video content, and social posts. But as of recently, we have decided to eliminate the video content and the social posts from our suggestions. And there's a few reasons that we did this, but we're feeling really confident about it. First and foremost, looking at kind of our data, we realized that most of our customers, our users, didn't really visit the social posts and video content nearly as often as they visited the blogs and news articles. And specifically with social posts, we really thought about how there are so many other great products out there that are dedicated to doing that. So we really wanted to leave social posts to the experts and focus on what we do best. And that's providing you the best written copy content from news and blog posts. We do hope to reintroduce visual content down the road, but we want to make sure that we're presenting the best product possible, and we're not just going to give you something that kind of works. So we definitely want to reintroduce that down the road, but we've already gotten some great feedback from this decision. You know, people are saying this was the right move, and we agree. We think this is the right move for us. We just want to focus on what we do best. All right, so I've already talked about user profiles and kind of the updated design and how to create a topic, but I want to go ahead and go into our next new feature, which is sharing topics. We're really fortunate here at Community ELF that we have kind of our own team of in-house beta testers. So our ELVs, we call them, our account managers, they use our product every day when they're working with their clients. And so when we had discussions with them, we discovered that there was this desire to be able to share topics with one another. So for instance, many of our account managers, they work on the same or a very similar client. So they wanted to have this option to share UpContent suggestions with one another instead of having to recreate that topic for themselves. So because we created those user profiles, we were then able to introduce this kind of functionality of sharing topics. What's really great is that whether you have an UpContent account or not, you now have the ability to view a shared topics suggestion and apply any of these filters across the top. And when you're logged into your account, this shared topic is going to appear on your left-hand side. So I'm going to go ahead and I got a topic shared with me, so I'm going to go ahead and visit that. Get to a new tab here. Let this load for a moment. Okay, so as you can see now on the left-hand side, I was given the shared topic of remodeling, and it's appearing under this heading preview. Now, just as a note, I'm already logged in. So if you weren't logged in, you would be prompted to either create an account or log in, and you'll be given the opportunity to preview. In preview mode, which is great, you can actually go ahead and share any of these suggestions with your network or your friends. And you can preview the full article here if you want by clicking on it. So it gives you the share option as well as toggling through these different sorting options. If you want to be able to come back to this previewed topic over and over again and share from it, you can do what's called bookmark the topic. So I would simply hover over my topic here and click this little bookmark option. I do that in my bookmarked section here. So bookmark simply means I can come back to this shared topic and share from it anytime that I want. And you'll see this gravatar here. This is shared from Scott Roderson, our CEO. He shared these topics with me. So it would show the particular gravatar of whomever's user profile it came from. So once it's under bookmarked, again, like I said, you can come back to it anytime. But let's say you want to favorite or delete or even tweak the suggestions, the topic itself. Then what you would want to do is duplicate the topic. So if you can see here on the left, I'm hovering over and there's this duplicate option. By duplicating the topic, it's going to go ahead and add to your topics already. So then you have full functionality over that topic. You can share from it, whether that's directly to the profile or with Buffer. You can favorite, you can delete, you can go ahead and use all of the different sorting options, and you can tweak the queries as well. But keep in mind that if you do duplicate the topic, it is going to add to your number of topics. So if you've already used your free topic, this would be a great opportunity for you to upgrade at this point. So bookmarking is great because then it can show you kind of what you would want to accomplish if you upgraded. So it gives you that ability to preview it almost and check it out before you commit to upgrading. So you can see kind of the benefits of tracking multiple topics at one time, especially if you work with multiple clients and you're curating a lot of different feeds. It would be really helpful for you to have multiple topics going at one time. If you want to share your own topic with someone else, you simply hover over it, and you'll see there's a couple different icons here, but you would just click on that link option. And it actually gives you two different links. The first is if you just want to share that topic with someone, whether that's on social media, through an email, or just whatever, you can copy and paste it to them. The second is actually to get an RSS feed. So if you want to add this particular topic to one of your readers, your RSS readers, you can do that. And so that's a great way if you want to kind of compile all of your different curation feeds into one place. So we're really excited about sharing topics. Not only do we think this is going to provide more value to our users, but it's also a great opportunity for us because it's kind of like marketing for us. People really get to see the value of UpContent before they commit to creating an account. And we get to, people get to share what they like with their network, which is really exciting for us. All right, so I'm going to move on to our next section here. I did want to point out that our last two big updates are all under the sorting options here, but two of them remain the same. So our recency filter, that obviously is going to be any recently published news articles or blog posts in that order based on that topic. And shareability is actually how shareable that particular piece of content is. We actually have a database of words and phrases that indicate that it might be more readily shared than something else. So it actually searches for those words within the content and then orders them in that way. But we did make some changes to our relevance filter as well as our influence filter. So I'm excited to show those to you now. We're going to go ahead into our Elon Musk category, our topic here, and click on relevance. So our relevance filter is mostly staying the same because it still already displays the most applicable results, you know, the ones that are obviously most relevant based on your search queries. But now there's an even better way to view those suggestions. We recognize that individuals, they're often interested in kind of breaking down a topic by subtopics. And so we really wanted a way to kind of drill down and find these individual discussions that are related to kind of more of an umbrella topic. We actually partnered with an application called Infamous, and through that we were able to now present a relevance graph view that allows you to explore even more specific topics underneath the branch of your search. If you're someone like me, sometimes you don't really know what you want to look for until you see some of the subtopics related to a broader topic. So this is going to allow you to do that. So to access the graph view of relevance, you'll see here on the left-hand side, if I just hover over, you'll see there's this graph view. So I'm going to go ahead and click that graph view. And ta-da, here it is. So you can see it's a visual view and it shows you based on the size of the circle what those subtopics related to Elon Musk are. So if I just want to know about everything related to SpaceX, I would click that. And it's going to load here in a second. Let's get this loaded. Might need to refresh. It will show just those specific suggestions underneath that subtopic. I'm gonna let this refresh here. Okay, there we go. And again, if I would click on Hyperloop, it's gonna go ahead and narrow down to just those talking about Hyperloop, and same with Tesla here. So you'll see all of those are kind of broken down for you. You'll see here on the left-hand side, this is actually going to get narrowed down to probably about 5 suggestions here because there's a lot here. But you can see it's color coordinated. So if you're more of a text-based learner, you can click on them here and it will again filter those out. Or if you're a visual person, you can go ahead and do that there. So we're really happy with this. We think that it's going to allow people to spend a little bit more time in here and discovering what they really care about, and because sometimes you don't know until you see it, right? So we're hoping that people are really going to enjoy the relevance graph view as well. And lastly, I think probably our most exciting update to the UpContent feature set is the improvement of our influence filter. Not long after we released UpContent, we began discussing ways to make this filter even more effective. Previously, the influence filter would take more of a macro approach to sorting suggestions, but we really wanted to be able to zero in more specifically on the topic at hand and give our users the ability to identify the right content published by the sources that have the highest rank influence, not really just the ones that are most popular. So to give you an example, let's say your topic is about Apple products. You want your most influential sources. So even though Wall Street Journal is considered a very highly influential source, it may not be the most influential about Apple products. So instead, we would want articles from maybe 9to5mac.com to appear way before those Wall Street Journal articles, right? So we wanted to be able to do this for our users. Luckily, we did find a solution that Scott Rogerson, our CEO, had utilized previously in another context. So by examining the centrality of an item in a graph, we can now measure influence within that network. We actually teamed up with 6 students from Carnegie Mellon University, and they created a great proof of concept and then were able to effectively demonstrate the results. We were very happy with that. And now that it's built into our product, our influence filter is way more robust and even has a graph view as well that illustrates influence and the subsequent relationships between articles and blog posts. So let's take a look at that. I'm going to close this graph here. Okay, so you can see here that, of course, the suggestion that appears up here at the top, they're going to be written by what's considered the highest ranked influencer based on your search query. And you'll oftentimes see multiple articles or blog posts by the same source because they're considered, you know, the best, the most highly influential in that realm. So we have Space News, CNET, Space News, and so on. You'll see that it's going to repeat, and that's actually a great thing because it's going to show you that those are the higher influencers in that particular niche. We also have that great graph view, which I'll show you here in a second. Again, by hovering over here on the left-hand side and clicking that graph view button. And here we go. We have this awesome visual way to see the relationships between the different clusters of content. So if I hover over a particular circle, you'll see that the circle's size shows you how influential that source is. So these smaller ones maybe don't hold as much influence as some of these bigger ones. The text that you're seeing there, that is the name of the topic, the article title, the blog post title, for example. And if I double click on it, you can kind of move it around if you want to play around with it. If I double click on it, it's going to just show just that content having to deal with that particular cluster. So all of these are linked together, even though they may not be from the same source. They are linked together because they contain hyperlinks. So they've probably referenced one another within their content, which just shows you the relationships between these particular influencers and between the topic at hand. So that gives you the ability to see that there. If you double click on it again, it will bring you back here. You can see if I clicked on red, there are fewer results there because it's smaller. But you can kind of see all the relationships there between the content, between the influencers as well. If you are, again, someone who's more text-based learner, you get on the left-hand side, you could just click on that particular color. And you'll notice here that the results are also color-coded here. So you can, if you prefer the main tile view, you can see the relationships between them there as well. So we're just really excited to be able to provide this kind of value to our customers and to be able to share content from the best influencers. We know that we're really providing the best quality content. It's very exciting about that. So that's kind of it, everyone. I went over user profiles, sharing topics, our relevance filter, our influence filter, as well as kind of the updates to our design and everything like that. But we've worked really hard, and so we really appreciate all of your support. Now is kind of going to be a time for Q&A. So if you do have any questions, I'm going to go ahead and give you some time to chat those in. But in the meantime, while you guys are thinking of your questions, if you have any, I just want to say thank you so much on behalf of everyone working on UpContent. You guys are the people who have supported us from the beginning, and we learned so much from all of you, and we truly are just grateful that you spent some time with us today. We also are going to welcome all of your feedback. I'll be sending out a survey tomorrow morning. It's just 4 quick questions. If you could fill that out, we would be so grateful. But we also invite some more one-on-one conversations. We'd love to see how you would personally use UpContent or how your users would use UpContent. And we'd love to hear kind of more of those conversations. We are going to be pushing this publicly soon, probably early next week, but we're going to be doing kind of a big announcement on January 27th. So stay tuned for that. We'll be sure to let you know. But go ahead and ask any questions. I'm going to give you some time to do that. I know some of you probably need to peace out. So again, I appreciate your time. I'm going to go ahead and mute myself until I get some questions here. And otherwise, have a wonderful day. Thank you. So it's looking like no one really has any questions right now, so I hope I didn't bore you to sleep. But we would welcome any questions that you guys might have later as well. So if you want to shoot us an email, send us a tweet, we'd love to hear it. So have a great day, you guys. Thank you again so much for your time. Talk to you soon. Bye.